What is up, guys? Reaper's Douche Nozzle here, giving you guys another White Guy stories about a story that I just remembered today that I thought was pretty crazy. So I'll share it with you guys. And sorry if I'm a bit quiet; it's a bit late at night right now, but let's get to it. So I did want. So this is gonna be the first time I got interviewed by cops, and this story takes place about the fifth grade, and it was a pretty crazy story. I, rem- it was I I remember because like we went over to my neighbor's house. And at my neighbor's house, we always played like BB guns, like airsoft BB guns, and we had a lot of them. Like I'm telling you guys, there was a lot of these BB guns. So we decided let's go next door and go play BB guns. And they were having a party, like an adult party, but like we were trying to have like a little get together too. So like we were having a little, like all the little kids and all teenagers all went inside, and we were all hanging out and like playing BB guns, and like we were having a good time in the backyard. And we were like, you know what? It is a bit too like it is a bit like sort of out here. We should go in the front yard and like mess around with the cars, which at the time was like not a good idea. But we were kids. We were like little kids that thought we knew the world. That we thought we were Jesus. So we were like, okay, let's go out and mess around. Maybe butt fuck some cars. So we went out into the front yard and we started just to have fun there. It was me, my homie, my brothers, and some but three other girls. And the oldest girl there was about 16 at the time, and she was the oldest, so she was supposed to be taking care of us like a babysitter. But her dumbass Shamu looking was already just messing around, so she decided just to mess around with us. We ended up just having to like just going out there and we just playing around, and there was this little kid riding on his bike in the middle of us shooting BB guns. He saw us shooting BB guns and he decided just to come out there and like shoot BB guns with us, like not shooting BB guns. Like he decided just to go out there and ride around in his little turd bike like around. And I was like, kids were, and then we warned him. We were like, "Kid, we're shooting BB guns, right? Like, can't you see that you're gonna get hit in the eye and like be like Jack Sparrow?" And he was like, "No, man, no, I'm not gonna get hit. Trust me, I'm not gonna get hit. You're a little fucktard." And I was like, "Oh, really, kid? You're not gonna get hit? You're about to get hit and end up looking like Stumpy. So shut up." And he was like, "Oh, that's messed up. That's messed up, dude." And so we were like, "No, you're gonna get hurt, kid." And so we ended up just so like the oldest girl was hearing this whole thing, and she just turns around and quick draws her pistol and shoots this kid like right in the kid's face. And like the kid just ended up crying home, and we were all laughing about it. Didn't think so much of it because we didn't. I remember we didn't really hit the kid. Like he just kind of like flesh wounded him, but the kid was crying. He went home, and I was a little. I don't really care. So like he went home, and and we he went home and he ended up like 10 minutes later his mom ended up coming out and yelling at us. And at first I was like, "You're not my mom, bitch, you don't fucking yell at me." Until she threatened to call the cops. I was like, "Oh man, I think I should go get some like adult. I need an adult for this." So we ended up calling the I ended up going to my dad, and my dad was like, "Sup?" And so we ended up so I talked to my dad, and my dad was like, "Oh man, I don't know what you kids messed up." My dad kind of yelled at us, but at the same time he had to deal with he had to go outside and deal with her too. So like they got everybody rounded up. Everyone came in and apologized. The neighbor that was hosting the party grabbed his BB guns and broke them. So like to prove a point. I don't know really know why he did that. He thought he looked like Rocky when he did it, but he just threw down. And then all the all the cops so at this like all the cops ended up showing up, like, cause like, oh sorry, what happened is that the mom left and like went to go take care of her kid, and the parents were like, "Bro, take care of this," and they ended up just yelling at us. But later on, like my dad just yelled at us, and they're like, "Who did this? What's going on?" So we had a little mission because no one was confessing who did it until later on. The older girl that was watching us actually confessed and said, "You know what? It was me. I did it." So she took full responsibility of it, and she was like, "Okay, it was me. I'm sorry, whatever." And she started crying, and like everyone was like felt bad. It was like it was an accident. We lied. It wasn't really an accident. We're straight gangster thugs like that. Thug life, cough cough. So like we were like, yeah, it was an accident. And so later on, that she ended up calling the cops like 30 minutes later, and then we are like, "Oh shit, it's the cops." And the cops ended up showing up, and like, I mean, it wasn't just the cops. She called the army, like the fire department showed up. Like the cops, I guess what probably ended up like saying on the phone was like, "Oh, my son just got shot by like some thug gangster kids. You need to come over here." And so like the cops show up. So like a bunch of kids show up, like fire department shows up and everything. And they're out checking the kid's eye out, and then like they were like, "Okay, we got to interview you." Now, a little note that I missed out is that there was like I said, there was a party going on. It was a pool party. So like the pool party, It was so I went swimming. I went swimming before we played BB guns, and like my shirt got wet, and I didn't feel like wearing a shirt, so I took my shirt off. I didn't know the cops were gonna show up, so what happened? I ended up getting interviewed naked, kind of like I was barely wearing underwear and I was barely wearing shorts, so like I had my no shirt off, and the cop was like, "All right, no shirtless, come over here and come over here and get over here," and I got up and I was like, "Stop," and then I was like, the cop was like, "Hello, like, what's she doing?" And I was like, "We were just playing BB guns." I tried to explain my side. We're like playing BB guns, whatever, dude. We're shooting, we're having a good time out here. And the kid came out and thought he was cool, and he shot him. And he was like, "Oh, I see how it is. That's cool." And he was like, "That's messed up. That's messed up." And I was like, "How is that messed up?" That it was just, oh, we were just having a good time. And he was like, "Well, you kids are a bit underage to be playing with BB guns." I was like, "Dude, or whatever." And I was like, I got at the same time I was kind of like young, but like I still knew it wasn't that big of a deal. We did warn the kid, and the cop did tell the mom that. So the cop was like, "You know what? What we'll do? We'll just take the BB guns and we'll go home." And well, I mean, not home. One take is all I do. We'll take the BB guns and we'll just take all the evidence and then we'll call it a night. And then I was like, "You know what? This sounds good. That's nice. That's nice. Sounds like a plan." And so like everyone was like, "All right." So the cops were like, "All right, the kid looks good. Let's go ahead and he's ready to go." So I was like, "All right, sweet. He's ready to go home. I think we're off the hook." And we put the BB guns away. We're like, we're not touching that shit again. So like what was funny about the interview is that, like I said, I had no shirt on, and at the same time I was young. I was like, how am I going to explain to the cop that I didn't want to put on a shirt, and I have to go to this cop and like look at him in his face and be like the cop he was smiling. He couldn't do it with the straight face. He couldn't interview me with the straight face. I was a little fat kid, he was all like, "Oh, little Tootsie Roll." He's gonna do the Tootsie Roll, like, yeah, but he was yelling, like he wasn't yelling, but he was like laughing a little bit, giggling. So like I was like, great. How no shirt on? This is a bit embarrassing. I didn't know I was gonna be interviewed by fucking pigs. So, anyways, that's what happened. That was my first time getting interviewed by coppers. I just want to give a few shout outs real fast again to my homies. CryWiz27, Dat McDaniels, Shadow Killer AZ, faggot, and Deadly is Brown. Thank you guys for helping me out and making these videos and always being there. And thanks for everybody for watching. But I gotta go do other stuff. Thank you.